Welcome to episode 35 of YOUx2, where we're on a mission to discover the two of us that are living this human experience, this human character that we're playing here, and the actor behind this character, the real us, a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that's made of unconditional love. Hey everybody, it's your brother Zen, and I'm a wake-up artist. My passion is to help us remember who we really are and of that special connection that we have with the Creator and the spirit realm. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how we can improve and increase our spiritual gifts, and especially for all those empaths out there that feel people's emotions, I'm going to share some things that can help you not take on everyone's emotions into you. As we start talking about our spiritual gifts, I feel it's important to really understand and differentiate between those things that are of spirit and those things that are of human, the two sides of us. Because the more we understand which is which, then we can spend more of our energy focusing on the spiritual things. For whatever we focus our energy on is what grows. When we look at the human chakra system, we know the lower three chakras focus on the human aspects, and the upper three focus on the spiritual world, both meeting in the heart. And within the heart, we feel both the unconditional love of the higher realms, as well as the conditional love, the fear of losing conditional love in the human realm. And they're like oil and vinegar. When they're all shaken up together, it's hard to differentiate between what is what. But when we take time to ourselves, take time to become calm and peaceful, it all separates and things become more clear. Because in our human world, we're taught to look externally for all of our fulfillments, for all that contentment, for all the things out there, whether it be relationships or achievements, like, in our work and our schooling and our social status. It can be about our bodies. It can be about our finances, our possessions. We're all told to look out in the external world for those things. And our human body, of course, our human ego, is bound to time, hearing the clicking countdown of time's running out, and all those fears of time, the fears of failure, the fears of rejection, the fears of death, of painful death, so many fears in this giant amusement park of fear. And we're born out into this storm, but we're never told about the eye that's in the middle of the storm, where we can find peace. And all these rides in this amusement park, all these fear rides, keep pulling us out into the storm and don't allow us to experience that peace. But at the perfectly planned time, we begin to wake up. We become aware that there's so much more than just the human avatar we're experiencing this life through. Our focus becomes shared, so we turn inward and upward more often, which strengthens the relationship we have with all those beautiful beings of unconditional love and light that are in those higher realms. The Creator, Spirit, our guardian angels, all of our angels, our spirit guides, our loved ones who are already back on the other side, our ancestors, fairies, unicorns, leprechauns, whatever you believe those beings are, we have that strengthened connection with them. And because we are focusing more on that spiritual side of us, our spirit side, it expands and grows into the human physical realm. Like the Magician card in the tarot, we can be seen as our higher self, raising our magic wand to the heavens, becoming the conduit for which that unconditional love energy comes down through us and out into the world. We become a channel for that unconditional love. And you might have already heard the word channel being used, and it usually represents like people that are channeling loved ones who are coming through, or possibly angels, or even collectives of different kinds. But when I think about it, I really look at all of our spiritual gifts are a way of channeling that unconditional love energy in some way. When you look at like energy work, which is like, Reiki or Qigong or any type of energy, work that you do, it is basically channeling that unconditional love energy through us into our own bodies and even out into someone else's. And when you look at like tarot reading or doing intuitive astrological readings and anything along those lines, that again, I feel we're channeling that energy through us, and it goes out, but it's in the form of communication. It's in the form of thoughts coming through our minds and out through our mouths out into the world. Each moment our energy is either of the lower vibration of the human experience or of the higher vibration of the upper world. And we can do a couple of things to raise our vibration. First, we can turn down the fear noise that's going on in our head and our mind and turn down that lower vibration of the outside chaos of the storm. And we can do that by, paying attention to what we allow in our ears and what we're looking at, even what's in our nose, our mouth, touch, all of those things. If it creates the chaos and the lower vibration, like watching the news, oh my gosh, those things can ignite fear because they're all around fear. And then we can also do things like meditate or take a hot bath, go for a walk in nature, paint, do some pottery, whatever that calms down your soul, you can do that. And then, of course, there's always the usual suspects of our triggers that will show their head and demand our attention. And for those, we can do like our shadow work, look into where those fears are based on and how we can transform those. So number one, we turn down the fear noise. And number two is we turn up the unconditional love. And we do that purposely by focusing on unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter, which allows us to move into that frequency, which is of the higher realm. And if you're unsure of what is my spiritual gift, all you have to do is ask Spirit to reveal it to you. The more time you spend connecting to the higher realms, connecting to the spiritual realm, the more clear the messages become, the more information that is brought forward. And the more of that unconditional love energy that we have flow into us, the more it activates different things within us. I'm reminded of, I think it was one of the more newer Superman, well, not like newer, like really, really recent, but not the old Superman ones, where he found his, original father's ship in an iceberg somewhere. And as the things activated and the power turned on, more stuff started turning on throughout the ship. And that's kind of what happens with our own body. We start to have this activation that comes, and we become more and more aware of our abilities. We also can go into our heart, where we do feel, of course, both the human side of the heart, but also our higher heart. And within that, we can discover what makes our heart sing. And then once we discover what this gift is, then experiment with it, research it, invest energy and focus on it, because then that builds. Because it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes, and the more comfortable you become in using it. And the more you use it, the more accurate, successful, and responsive it becomes. And try not to let the outside world limit your beliefs on what you're able to do with your gifts by all those supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos and this is how it must be done. Because our human side loves to keep things structured and defined and kind of in this little cozy box. But when we do that, our experiences can be limited. And you discover the only thing that really can keep us restricted and small is our own self-beliefs. And I know many of you, if not all, who watch my videos are very strong empaths and you feel other people's emotions. And I know when I was in my 30s, I really had this expansion of my empathic abilities and feelings people's emotions. I had felt them all my life since I was a young child, but in the organized religion I was in, they had a lot of restrictive roles of what was supposed to be and not to be. And so I limited myself out of fear of being rejected or being burned at the stake. No, they wouldn't have done that. But, you have these things where you limit it. So as soon as I moved outside of the organized religion, it was like Shazam! I would go into restaurants and almost burst out crying sitting there because I felt all those lower vibrational emotions that people were having that were rooted in fear and sadness and depression and all of that. So I was like, I need to find something to help me not take on everyone's emotions as my own. So my first attempt was imagining myself like one of those airline traffic controllers where you're sitting at this radar, the round radar, and there's all these little blips on there, these little dots, and those represented all the people who were in my orbit. And so I was aware that their emotions were out there. And if I wanted to know more about what was going on with someone, I could just tap on that and it would kind of expand. And then I would know some details and I would go into even understanding why they were having the emotions and just a lot of deep understanding of what was going on. But even with doing that, I would feel that person's emotions and take them on. So even though I made great progress in not taking on all the dots emotions, I would still, when I would access, I would definitely, get flooded with all of that. So my second experiment that I did was with this kind of giant JELLO mold that was around me. And yes, you can make it whatever flavor of JELLO that you want. What was great about this, though, is that the emotions would still come toward me, but they'd stick in this JELLO mold. They wouldn't touch me. Now, I could still touch them. I could still access them and again, find out the details of what was going on behind these things. But I wouldn't absorb them and bring them into my body anymore. And when the JELLO mold was all full of all these emotions, I could replace it with a whole new one, and I didn't have to do a whole lot to cleanse it. I would just, basically, it was like rinsing it all off, and then a new JELLO mold would appear. And I didn't have to turn it on or turn it off. It was just always there. And we do that just with intention. You do that with your ability, with this huge belief that you can do this, because it is within our power to do that. Now, you don't have to do JELLO, you don't have to do any of those things, but what's great is you get to find out what works for you. You know what kind of creative little way is more fitting for how you like to see things. And that's the most important thing, is how it makes you feel is what's important with all that. And what's amazing is there is so much more to your empathic gift than you may even have realized. And it's great news, because sometimes you can feel like feeling other people's emotions is a curse. And I know we all go through it at times. But when you realize that not only are you able to feel people's emotions, you're actually able to also flood out emotions to the outside world. That is the power. That's your superpower. You could walk into a room and people can be down and upset and depressed or angry or fearful or whatever those lower vibrational energies are. And when you just allow your energy, that love energy, to flow out, you can change your room. People are just like, you can just feel the dark, dense smog and fog just start to dissipate as your bright, shiny energy comes in and influences it. Now, we cannot make and control other people's emotions. We're not, mutants like they have on TV, because no one can ever overcome our own free will choice. We still always choose. Now, we can make it an easier choice or a harder choice, though, to choose unconditional love, because we can also, with our mighty emotional power, walk into a room that is lively and people are happy, and if our energy is very low vibrational energy, we could bring a room down. Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you. We have that power to do that too. So being aware of how much energy that we can have, when we're sending out this flood of unconditional love, all those other energies can't push out against it, because that tide is so strong that if we're constantly putting out a lot of unconditional love energy, we won't feel those other energies move towards us as strongly as when we are attracting it with our lower vibration or just sitting there neutral. It's like it just starts heading toward us, right? We also have the ability to transmute emotional energy. And what I mean by that is, like, you can, like your aura, your, chakras. If you imagine your aura as this beautiful, like maybe a bright gold, or just this bright, radiant energy. And when we are just near someone, we don't even have to be specifically focusing to do this. The more energy you build, the more you have this constant kind of radiation of positive radiation of unconditional love energy. Just by you doing anything, just you being around someone, just changes their aura. It kind of seeps over and joins with their aura, their outer energies, and it starts influencing it. I have a great video, and I don't know if I have it out anywhere. I'll have to think about posting it, because it was like years ago. I went where they had this video camera that had around you, and they had you put your hand on this kind of little place where your hand fit in, and it measured your aura. And it showed it all this beautiful colors all around it. And the lady that was sitting next to you talking to me about them, she put her hand and you could see her energy was a different color. And when it interacted with the aura of my aura, it like changed colors between the two. So it's this amazing, amazing ability that we have also to transform and help other people's energies, in a loving way. So I really, really love the knowledge of how powerful our energies and our empathic abilities can be. And it kind of makes up for understanding why we are able to pick up on other people's emotions. It's almost like, if you're able to see the future but not change it, what kind of gift is that? That's a curse. But if you're able to pick up other people's emotions and realize, I have the power to send love to them and to help them, that makes sense of why we're given that gift instead. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about how the love energy can help us with our overall health and some different ways that we can raise our vibration. In the meantime, if you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these videos, I also put out several other types of videos, like weekly energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, also monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign, and several other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up by clicking the like button, also clicking the subscribe button, that's going to give you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there and choose the all option, then to be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things, it helps spread the Zen love, and it does help my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like or share one of my videos, comment on one of my videos, subscribe to my channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm super crazy. It wants to share all of my videos automatically with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, please know I am ever so grateful for that. Also, all the readings that I put out are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings. And actually, my personal recorded readings are on a sliding price scale, which means that for each of the different types of readings, you actually have a choice between 3 different price points that you can choose from. So you can choose one that's in more alignment with your budget at the time. So some great flexibility there. If you're interested in any of that, it's all listed in the description box below. All right, beautiful people, as you go throughout this amazing journey of life, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. So until we meet again, you have an amazing week and you hang in there and you take care.